Hi everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to Rage Print. This is episode 7 of our shopper build, and today I'm going to be building the Front Castor. Should be nice and simple, shouldn't it? So why don't you join me and find out?
Okay, so here we go. I'm just quickly filing off the pieces, making sure they're all right. And we have here now the 6805 2RS bearing. There you go, there's a number. So that gets pushed into the main caster frame. And as you'll see here, it's quite tight. And you'll see how many times I try this. Apparently I try it again. There you go. So I start using sandpaper, just sanding away the insides. And just sanding just enough so it will fit and be friction fit. This took about 10 minutes or so. And no, a tiny bit more. And I think this is where it goes in. No, not quite. Another go. I think we're there now. I think. Is that it? Yes. So that's the bearing snug inside the main caster frame. So it's flush with the inside there. And as you can see, it just enables that to move around. So now we start off with the main caster collar, and we insert another bearing, same one, the 6805 2RS, into there. And again, we just sand around the edges to make sure it's a friction fit. Yeah, I think this one's a little quicker. Yeah, just bash it in a bit with a file and then you're all set. So that one's in. Again, that's flush to the end, to the bottom there. That's the basis of the turn-in. So now we're working on caster A, B and C. And just trying to work out how they go together. So I'm wondering if those holes are big enough, and they are. I'm trying to work out what bit's missing. It occurs to me in a minute that actually I've got a piece missing. You'll notice there's been a bit of a cut, and the frame now has a pieces attached. I'm trying to work out where I've gone wrong. So I'll come back to that the wheel frame in a minute. You can see here I'm just getting some M3x40, M3x50 and some square nuts. And there's only 3, so the M340 goes at the rear. I think I'll show this in a second. Yeah, so the M340 goes there, and the other 2 the M50s. And 5 hours of trying to get the screw to connect to the square nut that's gone in the bottom. Unfortunately, the cut means you didn't see me put them in. But you can just see the square. Oh, in fact, there you go. I am putting the square nuts in. Thought I'd cut this bit, but so just push. In this case, I'm really having to push the square nuts in. It's quite tight, and even though I've removed the brim, it still was quite a tight fit. I ended up just sort of effectively making the hole a lot larger than it needs to be, and dropping the square nut. So I've cut away a lot of the screwing, but there we go. I don't know why I'm showing you this bit again. So that's the 40, and those are the 250s. And they should screw in this time. Yeah, sorry about the weird cuts and the way the video's working. I've trying to get off the Adobe train. So I've been trying out different video editors. The last couple of videos, like the LosCons, I've been used Shotcut. There we go, they're all screwed in. And this is using DaVinci Resolve. Right, so anyway, back to this. So we've got the caster collar attached to the caster frame, like that. There we go. That creates the double bearing that we need, and that will be for the caster shaft. So now I moved indoors, it's getting dark. So going back to the bit I'm holding in my hand now, I misread it and I put the M340 and M350s in these pieces, assuming this was the caster collar. So basically I was an idiot and misread it, didn't read the instructions properly. So right now I'm swapping the screws over and changing it from an M335, which I think is the one I'm putting in now. Yeah, M335, which is there. And, oh no, sorry, M320 is that one. There's two M330s and an M335. And I realised my mistake when I realised I've put 3 screws in, there's only 4 holes. So, and the screws are too long and poking up and it didn't quite work. So anyway, this is caster A, B and C. I can't remember which one's A, B and C, but effectively you can see how they go together on there. So, yeah, as I was saying, this one's been edited with DaVinci Resolve. It's easy enough. It's just getting used to the editing and the cutting sequence. So you might find that some of the videos look slightly different, or have been better edited, or not as well edited, depending on which version I'm using. I'm just trying to work out which one I like best, and I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, I'm ditching Adobe. I'm fed up of constantly paying for a program. So here we go. I'm putting in the this is the M320, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm just taking out the wrong screws. I'm doing them one at a time so I don't lose the locations of the other screws. And then in retrospect, maybe I should have just taken all the screws out and started again, because this one just got stuck. There you go. So pushing the M3 square nut in. And putting that 20 in. And that one only goes through the first 2 pieces of the caster. It doesn't go through the 3rd piece. So this is the M330s. I'm just sorting the focusing out. There we go, M330s, countersunks. And there's 2 of those, and those go on the left and right hand sides. A couple more square nuts. And I realised I made a bit of a mistake here, that I've got some screws that are hex and some screws that are Phillips. So I need to change this and make sure I've got 2 sets of screwdrivers handy. But anyway, they go in simple enough. Right. So as you can see here, I'm putting the second last screw in. That's the M330. And now we're putting in the M335. I'm going to apologise now for the weird jump cuts. I don't know what happened. Every time I slice the video up to speed bits up and slow things down, I'll go further along the video and find that there was a bit of video from earlier. And then, yeah, this is a very weird cutting going on in this episode. Hopefully you still get the drift of what's going on. And say, yeah, now I am putting the last screw in. Yeah, this is definitely the last screw in. So that's all 4 screws in. So now this is the caster shaft, and that just it should friction fit. Might need a bit of forcing. I did actually have to sand it a bit. For some reason I edited that bit out. Don't know why. Anyway, it should just fit in like that. It shouldn't turn. It should just be, it should just go in. And then you add an M6x80 nut and bolt. So I am putting it in. This is slightly longer than 80. I think this is a 85 or 90. I don't think it matters the fact the screw's sticking out because there's a large gap around the bottom of the body. So anyway, that's in, and then you need a nut. So I think in a second I'll go and grab the nuts. There we go. That's just an M6 nut. Done. That's on. And that should hold that in place. And then the two pieces just push together. Oh yeah, this is where I sand it a bit because it wouldn't go through the bearing hole. So just sand it a bit, and then it should just push through the bearings. And again, you want it to be tight. You want it to move with the bearings, not slip around inside the bearings. So just push the two pieces together. And there you go. You can see that there's a slight gap. Not sure about that one. Doesn't seem to harm it in any way, but anyway, there you go. That's essentially a caster frame. So now we get out the some 606ZZ bearings. There we go. And a nylock nut, which you can just see our camera. And these go into the outer detail. No, sorry, the outer rim. A and B. Just pulling away some support there on the inside. So yeah, bearing each pieces, and those two pieces go together like that. And first they get pushed through the tyre. And that's a TPU tyre that I printed. It's the first time I ever printed a TPU. Didn't come out too badly. Anyway, so 3 screws. And it's the, where are they? M325s. No square nuts, they just screw into the plastic. So I'll line the holes up. Sorry, you just heard my R2 there. So anyway, yeah, line the holes up, just get the initial line up, and then just screw them all the way through. Keep them nice and tight because you're not really supposed to take this apart. And we've done that in a second. Yeah, I apologise if the voiceover's a bit all over the place. The video editing's thrown me way off. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That just slots into the frame caster like that. And so now, this is where you're supposed to have an M6x125. That's too long. Can't remember what that bolt is actually for. I've got 2 of them. So that's outer detail A and B. See, once that one in my hand is shaped for the nylock nut. So it just slides through like that. This is a temporary bolt. I do intend to get the right size bolt, and I still don't know what this bolt's for. As I said, I've got 2 of them. Me and John ordered all the pieces and split them up equally between our 2 droids. And there's an nylock nut. And yeah, I'm sure they'll turn up later. I think they're for the ankles, the main ankles. So there we go. Temporary bolt in. I say that I'm going to chop it, but actually no, I'm just going to replace it with a proper nut, proper size screw. But yeah, chopper's centre foot, which nicely spins round, despite the fact that the wheel is slightly warped. It came off the bed about partway through the printing, but I really just didn't want to start again. It won't affect it too much. But yeah, that's relatively simple. 1 chopper centre wheel. Apart from that, done.
Okay, so that went reasonably well. Let's ignore what happened with the screws. So yeah, we have a front caster, and that way it spins on the spot. This screw's slightly too long. I don't think it'll matter because the body frame's there and then the central bar's there, so there's a bit sort of open air. I don't know if I mentioned it on the video or not. This screw here is obviously way too long. This is one of the drive screws. It's just the longest screw I've had at the time. I thought I'd ordered a bolt for this, but can't seem to find it anywhere. It must be around somewhere. Just remember why that keeps coming out. So I don't think it's supposed to. So that's the front caster done, apart from the bolt. So next up will be the drives, which means I need this bolt back. So I need to put the drives into the foot shelves. Yeah, drives, and then we can finally put Chopper onto his legs. And after that point, we can start moving up the body. We can look at the dome and the lazy Susan mechanism and the what you might call it, the head knob mechanism. So where Chopper sort of wobbles his head like this. We'll work on those bits, and then we'll move into the dome itself. So we're slowly getting there. There's certainly less pieces of plastic in the box behind me. Admittedly, I haven't printed anything for the head arms that we're working on. Tim's actually released the plans for that. He's also released the plans for a booster rocket that goes in place of this. And I'm thinking, I might just put it in. It's just a plastic shell with a few LEDs in it. Although somebody would say, "Where's the smoke machine?" So it wouldn't surprise me if that comes out next. Yeah, it's kind of almost standalone. I imagine it uses this still. It's just a modified version of this, and you bolt the. Actually looks at the plan yet, but you bolt the booster to that, and then it's got some cabling going through to power the LEDs. Yeah, so that actually looks quite good. So I'll probably end up doing that after the droid's built. Let's get the actual droid built first before we start putting modifications into it. So yeah, as I said, we're getting there slowly, and I can't stop moving this around. It's it's a 3D printed tire as well. That's printed with TPU. There's a slight bend on it, but where the started warping off the plate. But to be honest, although you will be able to see it on camera, you can just sort of see it going up and down here. But it shouldn't matter when it's driving. You can, and even if it does, you can correct it with the steering. Just like you'd unconsciously correct it with the steering, like you do when your steering when your steering tires wheels are slightly off on your car. You correct it without realizing. I'm rambling again. I'm always rambling towards the end of things. I don't know what to say. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble for another 5 minutes afterwards. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.